introducing the next gen Scrambler Nightshift in Nebula Blue. This new color is absolutely gorgeous in person. Of course, we got the new TFT dash. I'll turn on here in a minute to give you guys a look at. A couple ride modes on that thing. We're going to be looking at sport mode and road mode, all with adjustable traction control, throttle control. I think we have high and medium on the new Scrambler model. Some similarities: we're going to have the same engine, 803 displacement, same horsepower and torque numbers from the last gen Scrambler. On the Nightshift, it's going to share the same rear 17-inch spoked wheels on this, same tires as well. For the front, it's going to be the 18-inch spoked wheel, as well as front and rear brakes being also the same. But other than that, there might be one thing I'm missing that's similar, but the next gen Scramblers have about, I think from what we've found out after the first day or two of having this thing uncrated and fully built, 70% of the next gen Scrambler is different. First, of course, as I already mentioned, the TFT dash and electronics is just going to give you, even though this Scrambler is of course a classic Ducati model, it's gonna feel a little newer with new tech compared to the last gen. Also, something a little different is how they routed this exhaust system. As you can tell, it's a little different from the previous gen Scrambler. That was to try to reduce some of the heat coming off of this air-cooled engine to save the riders. And here in Texas, we'll take anything we can get when it comes to less heat. As I mentioned, 70% of this bike has been changed. Of course, you can tell a lot are cosmetics. Just look at the new rear setup of this. Absolutely killer. Swing arm's gonna be different. You can tell in there. I'll hop around to the other side, see if we can see. Whole new chassis. Just a little better shot of it. Whole new chassis, allowing them to put the rear shock towards the center of the bike. And if you knew anything about the last ones, it was over here on the left side, sticking out a little bit. Moving on from the rear shock, I did remember what I missed that was the same, and it's the same 3.57 gallon tank in this. It just got swapped over. I think the tank shape is a little different, but another difference we have going into this year's next gen Scramblers is the clutch. The clutch is actually going to be shared from the Monster Plus, and from what I have felt and a couple other guys that have ridden this around the shop, that it is absolutely seamless, super smooth, glassy shifts, goes right into gear. There is actually a quick shifter option on this next gen as well, which was not an option previously, which I'm excited to see. This one does not have the quick shifter, but I'm sure we will get one here in the next few weeks or so, and we will be able to give that a test. I think it's going to be absolutely perfect, just like all the other quick shifters. Enough talking now. I think we all want to hear it, as well as see this nice load up screen on the TFT dash. Absolutely good looking. Let's go ahead and turn it on real quick. Like I said, it's gonna sound pretty similar with the same it sounds a little different. You guys need to let us know down below. What do you guys think of the sound? For an L-twin, sounds beautiful. Getting into the dash a little bit, let me throw up the side stand. Right here, just as all other models, hold down the mode button. Hold down the mode button. Here we have sport and road. You can see road comes in power medium, Ducati traction control 3, sport, power high, Ducati traction control 2. Just switch in between with the arrows up and down. If you've one of these before, it's the exact same. If you've never used a TFT, I think learning this new Scrambler dash took me less than 5 minutes. As you can see, we have fuel level up top in the top left. If we hold down, we can see some data below. Switch through total miles, trip, range. You can adjust the order of all of those in the settings menu, and to get in the settings menu, just hold up on this and press the enter button. Now you're into the riding modes, info display, fuel indicator. You can change that to range or level to be shown in the top left. Daytime run lights, display, pin code, date time, turn signals, language, info, service, ride modes. Let's go into ride modes here. Going into ride modes, we have sport and road, of course. If we go to sport again, we can now change the power from high to medium if we wanted it medium. Swatch down here. Not going to switch this one. This bike is already sold. Don't want to be going changing all of these. Traction control. Here we come in. We have the different modes of traction control. You can actually see it gives you a bar. Performance to safe and stable. Number 4 is going to give you the most assistance. So the safest and the stable, most stable. As you go to 1, that's going to be the most performance, the least assistance. You can also turn it off as well, which I don't recommend, but feel free to do what you guys please. Back. As I mentioned, you can go through all of this, check out the service intervals, check out some info. You can spend all day on here really fine-tuning the bike to exactly how you want. And I think that's exactly what they want with these new Scrambler as well, with the amount of colors and the three different models you can choose from in the Scrambler lineup. This display just goes perfectly with the exact look that this bike is going for. I'm extremely excited to see these new next-gen Scramblers on the road. Just to close this video out, I think the lightweight of the bike, losing that 8.8 pounds, the new addition of the monster clutch on this to smooth up the shifting, how low these bikes are to the ground, and of course the electronics added on to these new next-gen models. I think even more riders are going to be able to hop on this bike and really enjoy the full experience of a Ducati. At not the craziest price point, but for what you have on this bike, something that is completely reasonable. If you guys have any questions of this new next-gen Scrambler, if it's the Icon model, if it's the full throttle model, or even this Nightshift, please reach out to Ducati Austin at 512-236-8822 or DucatiAustin.com. We'd love to help you with any questions you might have and get you on one of these new Scrambler next-gen models.